Hello, freak bitches.
Yeah, 2005. That was our last ever Wild Boys trip.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And we brought Knoxville with us. In Knoxville, we had some like Russian army kind of dudes, and Knoxville's like, shoot me with the 9mm gun with the rubber bullet while the dog bites me.
What?
Yeah, he was going for it. And our director, Jeff Tremaine, was like, hey, if you still have this in you, why don't we not do it for TV? Let's make another movie. And that was why we stopped doing Wild Boys and made Jackass #2.
If you still have this in you. Oh
my
you still
God.
want to get it beaten out with rubber bullets.
Dude, a lot of shit happened on that last Wild Boys trip, man. There was we had this practice of like for the censors, like it's called standards and practices. They'll be like, they'll give back notes like you can't, show this. And so we would film what we call red herrings, like just blatantly ridiculous shit that's never going to be allowed on TV. But then we'll be like, okay, well, we'll cut this out. And so then we'll be able to keep some other shit.
Right.
So we would always go out of our way to film this fucked up stuff. And in Russia, me and one of the guys from the crew, put on these animal suits. What was it at the time? It wasn't panda bears. It was polar bears with a big fucking like mascot head. And we fucking hired 2 hookers and had full on fucking hookers came in like full porno. We filmed full fucking porno, and we included that in the episode, And the notes came back from standards and practices like, please, that you have to take out the
cocksucking.
The polar bear getting his dick sucked, like the whole thing, and and there was a little bit of fucking hooker action in that one, and I'm not necessarily that stoked about it, but there was we went to like a whorehouse, brought this hooker back to the hotel, right? Did like a whole thing, and then and I don't think I ever could even have sex with a hooker without like snuggling after. I want to like snuggle and something, I'm like, oh, no, just stay with me. I want to like cuddle and stuff. And in the morning, this hooker, she just tells me like how much I owe her.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fucking outrageous. There's no fucking way. I was like, basically, I don't care if your fucking pimp wants to kick my ass and fucking kill me. I'm not paying that fucking much.
It was that much? How much was it?
I forget. It was so long ago. But yeah, I was outraged.
So was it negotiated beforehand?
It just wasn't in that case. Because I remember clearly. I was like, you want that much? And I said, I'll give you this much, and that's how much you get.
Whoa.
Period. And we came out, right, like I gotta go film, and walking through the lobby, Knoxville is down there having breakfast. This hooker comes walking by Knoxville and she says, "That's not Steve-O, that's Cheapo." Yeah.
Oh.
And, I mean, I was never even that much into like hookers, but in looking back on it, I guess I really fucking kind of had sex with a bunch of hookers because I had this girlfriend, and like I work like a program of recovery. I got to be honest and shit. And I had this girlfriend. She was an English chick, and she says, "Have you ever had sex with a prostitute?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck," And I tell her. I never did until I was in England one time. And, we did this gumball rally where you race cars with all the rich guys. And, they're getting hookers, and they got me one. And, I brought her to the hotel. I told her the whole story about how I was like, "Can you give me a massage?" And she's giving me a back rub, and this hooker says, "This is one expensive back rub." And I felt like she was making fun of me. And I said, "Oh, fuck it." And I put on some Motley Crue and put on a rubber, and I humped her, okay? I told this story to my girlfriend. She says, I said, "Okay, what, did you, was there any other ones?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck," I'm like, well, in New Zealand, there was a massage parlor, and it turned out that they just have sex with you, and it's a joke. It's like I felt like I was having sex with a prostitute, but she was a masseuse. like, she said, "There's another one." And I'm like, "Well, there's a time in Indonesia."
Oh no! So it just kept rolling off.
Yeah, and the thing was that at that exact time she arranged this trip to go to Cornwall. It's this little surf town in England, because I like collect pictures with of like different countries where, and I call it my surf passport. And I'm like, I want to get a surfing photo so I can include England. And she says, "I don't know why you're making a surf passport. You should have a fucking hooker passport."